Happy Saturday. Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks pregame show presented by Coors Light. I'm Jay Zawoski. That's Greg Boyson. Mario Tirabassi is off for the day, so it's just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. We got it. We're going to talk about the Hawks and the Stars. We're going to give you Who's Your Hawk. We're going to play Coors Light, Light the Lamp. We're going to hear from Luke Richardson. All that in a half hour and a little bit more because I feel sort of motivated to start today's show talking about the Ice Hogs. Artem Levshinov gets his first AHL point. Someone on Twitter called it the air hockey assist, where it banks off the boards and goes right to somebody, and that's how they score. So Levshinov gets his first career point today on Fitzgerald's goal, and the Ice Hogs win 5-3. So as if Rockford wasn't interesting enough, now Levshinov's there, and we get to pay attention to how he's doing down there as well.
Yeah, I was able to watch that game thanks to Flow Sports, and first period was not great. They fell behind 2-0. They gave up a goal to Manitoba with just 4 seconds left in the period. Those are the ones that just kind of like, ugh.
Yeah.
But then to their credit, man, they came out, dominated the second period. Gavin Hayes got his first AHL goal with Samuel Savoie. And Ethan Del Mastro getting an assist. It was kind of just a scrambly play in front. They just kept digging and Hayes knocked it through. And then you mentioned the Levshinov assist on Gavin Fitzgerald's second goal of the season, and Savoie had another assist on that play. So his first two AHL assists. Kevin Korchinski had another power play assist. So he's got 3 points on the season, a goal and 2 assists, all on special teams. So that's good. Colton Dock scored.
Yep.
And Ryder Rolston closed out the scoring. It helped, but he showed his speed. He definitely has NHL speed. If you find the highlight of that goal, he kind of got the puck in the neutral, turned down the afterburners, and the defenseman just kind of like literally just fell down. Like he's like, that guy's fast. I'm not going to stop him. It falls down, and he goes right by and scores the goal. So great win. Mitchell Weeks got the win in goal. As Drew Comezzo is in Dallas with the Blackhawks. So be interesting to see what they do tomorrow as they play Manitoba again at 2 o'clock in the afternoon again. So maybe, I don't know if Weeks will get both games or they're going to give Ben Gaudreau the start. We'll see what happens.
It'll be interesting. I definitely was keeping an eye on your reporting because I do not have Flow TV yet. I'm working on it. I just got my Fubo set up today, so I'm just scrambling through all the getting the cable set. By the way, somebody asked in the chat, how do you watch the Hawks on CHSN, on DirecTV, if the Bulls are playing too? There is a plus channel, just like there was with NBC Sports, so you should have 2 CHSN options on. I saw it today on Fubo. I'm pretty sure it's there on DirecTV, so there is the 1A, the CHSN A and CHSN B, whatever you want to call it. I know for sure it's there on Fubo because we got it hooked up right in there. All right, we're going to hear from Luke Richardson here in a second, but I want to take a moment to acknowledge the passing of a Blackhawks legend. Bill Hay passed away at the age of 88 today. Legendary Blackhawk, Calder Trophy winner, Stanley Cup champion, 2-time All-Star. I am not quite old enough to remember Bill Hay, but the Blackhawks made a statement today on their Twitter, quote, "We are deeply saddened to learn of the passing of former Blackhawk Bill Hay, a true giant of hockey. Bill's contributions to the sport are everlasting and immeasurable. We send our condolences to Bill's family as well as the many fans who were fortunate enough to have experienced his boundless impact on our great game." And I mentioned he's in the Hall of Fame. He's in the Hall of Fame in the Builders category. So definitely a Blackhawks legend, NHL legend. Rest in peace to Bill Hay. And let's get right to Luke Richardson now because that's where he kind of begins his thoughts, this courtesy of our friends at the Chicago Blackhawks.
Just the Blackhawks organization, just want to send our condolences to Bill Hay's family, former Blackhawk and Stanley Cup champion here, and obviously meant a lot to the organization. We just want to send out our thoughts and prayers to the family and friends.
As far as the lineup tonight?
Same lineup as last night. Peter will be starting in net. We'll still on the road. We'll probably jumble some lines as we did last night, just with so many penalties, but hoping for less penalties.
So Arvid's sick?
Yeah, he was sick, so we just left him at home because we had Anderson sick the week before, so we just don't want it to run through the team.
Is he going to join the trip at any
He'll join as soon as he's eating and feeling better, yeah.
Okay.
Well, was there any thought to giving Camasso a start? Or?
Yeah, but Peter and I talked, and we talked with Jimmy, and Jimmy thought that it wasn't a huge stress load last night. Like, it wasn't like 50 shots and overtime and a shootout. So we just thought, Peter said he felt fresh. So we just want to make sure that he's not feeling a little drained, and then we would make that call.
Last time you guys were in Dallas, it was a little bit of a house of horrors with the injuries and losses. Is any of that still fresh in your memory?
No, I certainly remember just from last year. I thought we had a great first game, very similar to last night, and then we kind of lost it at the end. And then the second game went south on us. And, you know, I mean, the whole game, the play, the losing players, and the score just didn't, it was ugly. So we just want to make sure there's no other Halloween incidents this year.
A lot of guys like to get right back out there after a loss like that. Is it convenient that you guys have a game tonight?
Yeah, that's what's good about hockey. Sometimes we complain about the schedule, but after a game like that, very similar to our Winnipeg game earlier in the year, a tough loss at the end of the game in overtime, played one of our best games the next night. And I think sometimes when you're playing a little bit fatigued and tired, you have to play a little bit more intelligent, and it keeps you on your toes, and sometimes you play your better game that way.
A lot of times after losses like that, guys say we got to play simple. It's been like a constant refrain. Why don't they stick to that?
Yeah, it's tough. It's a long game. You know, the ebbs and flows of games and the momentum changes. It's tough, but the good teams find a way to continually play the system in the same way, and it usually, on the most part, ends up in their favor at the end of the game, and that's what we want to become. I thought we had an excellent start in the first half of the game, and unfortunately, we got a goal called back offside, which it was, and we have to react after a situation like that on the positive side, and that's when you go back to being simple and not try and make it up in the next shift.
Reichel's had a few good games here, but what does he need to do to sustain this? Because consistency maybe hasn't always been there for him.
Yeah, well, that's the perfect word for it. Sustain it is, you know, what we want to see from him and everybody else, and I think. Just alluding to the last question, it's tough to stay consistent in this league. It's a fast-moving game. Teams are so good around the league, and tonight we're facing one of the best of them. You know, this is a good challenge to play like he's played the last 2 or 3 games. In this game tonight is going to be a big ask, especially after travel and playing last night. But that's what you have to do to be in the NHL.
He was saying that he's focusing more on like just one shift at a time, or going into a game like I want to do 3 good things rather than like I need to have a hat trick or whatever. Have you seen his mentality shift where he's not like over expecting from himself?
Yeah, and I think I've noticed like when the puck goes away from him, he's on his toes and he's back checking. He's not like frustrated and kind of, you know, you shake your head or you get disappointed. You see disappointment in the body language. I'm seeing his body language is very good. And he reacts really well without the puck, or if the puck goes away from him or our team. I think second period, it was a great one. He charged back by the penalty box and took the guy's body out. The guy didn't like it. You know, those are big moments in the game for one individual, but it also helps our team, motivates the rest of the team to play like that. But it also, when people acknowledge him, like more his teammates acknowledge him of making plays like that, subtle little plays like that, that keeps you going, that keeps you pumped, and that keeps you focused on doing the right thing time in and time out.
This little bit of exposure for Drew Camasso, what does that mean to him?
You know, I mean, it's a totally different thing. Pro hockey is great, but it's a big difference between the American League and the NHL. So it gives it a little bit of taste, and you know, it's always inspiration for players to up their game, and they want to be here more and all the time. So he's a great young kid here, working his way up and doing all the right things down there. And goalies, sometimes it's a little bit longer path, and he knows that, and he's putting the work in. But it's also nice to get a little perk to get up here and be around the team and hopefully get in a game.
There he is. That's Luke Richardson, courtesy of the Chicago Blackhawks. Thank you for use of that video. Here are the projected lines for tonight. And he did say there might be some line mixing going on, but did say same lineup. So just like last night, Bedard, Foligno, Teravainen, Kurashev, Hall, Bertuzzi, Dickinson, Mikheyev, Donato, Reichel, Maroon, and Smith. D pairs are Vlasic and Jones, Kaiser and Murphy, Allen and Brody, and of course, Peter Mrazek in goal. And I kind of want to start there with you today, Greg. Back-to-back games from Mrazek. The guy's a vet. He's done it before. This is not a huge out-of-the-ordinary thing for him. I feel like if it was maybe any other opponent, I might go with Drew Commesso, but you don't want to throw this kid to the Wolves or the Stars for his first NHL start.
Well, he's beaten the Wolves plenty of times. In the AHL.
He's used
that
to
would
that,
have been a problem.
But I mean, I just think that you don't want to throw a kid in there for his first start against the Oilers, the Stars, like any of these really stacked offensive teams.
Yeah, I get that to a degree. I also think had they won last night, Commesso might be playing.
Maybe.
Because I think it's more of like, we've lost 3 in a row. This is another divisional game, second of 3 straight divisional games. We can't dig ourselves into a giant hole. We need to somehow get a win. Peter Mrazek, even though he played last night, he was good.
It was good.
Gives us the best chance to win. So, like, I wouldn't have been upset either way. Like, I'm not upset Mrazek's playing. It's not ideal, but it's early in the season. And then the Hawks are off until Monday. So they obviously are not going to practice tomorrow. So he'll get a day off. Maybe Soderblom is back by then and he'll play.
Sounds like he's doing okay. And
he stayed home, but he's obviously got some sort of illness. So I don't know. It's one of those tough decisions that the coach has got to make. And, hey, Laurent Brossoit, anytime you want to get healthy. Because as I wrote in my game day preview, like, Commesso might start tonight, and there's really nobody would have predicted that he would have had to come into duty this early in the season after signing Brossoit. Like, Brossoit was brought in, so you had that reliable backup, so Soderblom could go back to the AHL, and then you insulate Commesso, give him another full year playing. And here we are. It's not even Halloween, and we're on the 4th goalie of the season.
Well,
it's like, reminds me of 2 seasons ago when, Dylan Wells had to come up and start games.
Oh, God. I think he'll be okay, and I am looking forward to Brossoit getting in there and playing, and I'm glad they're taking their time with him because why rush him back? Soderblom's been fine. This is not a big deal. By the way, we just gave you the lines, but guess what? There's been an update. Ben Pope watching warm-ups right now. New lines, scratch to the last segment. Here's what they are now. Bedard, Reichel, Teravainen is your top line. Kurashev, Hall, Bertuzzi, Dickinson, Foligno, Mikheyev, Donato, Maroon, and Smith. Your D pair is a little bit of a change there, too. Kaiser and Jones, Vlasic and Murphy, Allen and Brody. Peter Mrazek remains in goal. So Lucas Reichel promoted to the top line. I tweeted it during yesterday's game. This game is 6 minutes old, and it's the best game of Lucas Reichel's career. He looked really, really good. 3 solid performances in a row. So he got an opportunity. He's earned it. I like it. I'm not, I think a lot of people want to just change lines because, Nick Foligno is older and not super fast, but I think that line's been working. I think Reichel's had success in the 4th line, so I wasn't chomping at the bit to change things up. They seem to be generally working. But hey, give a kid a chance who's earned it, and Lucas Reichel has certainly earned it.
Well, that's, they've made Reichel earn a spot on this roster. He sat out the first 4 games, and then when he gets in the lineup, 8 minutes on the 4th line, and then, you played a little better, played almost 14 minutes last night, which was a season high, and now he got some shifts with, the Teravainen and Bedard line last night as the game went on, and now he's going to start there. So he's getting the trust of Luke Richardson, and that's what he needed to do. So he's done everything that's been asked of him, and I know there was a lot of hand-wringing and, here we go again. It's Dylan Strome all over again, and they're crushing his development. Guys, it's kind of working.
Yeah.
It's kind of working.
Yeah.
And this is something that I had discussion today online about a lot of the people who are just like, Luke Richardson is not developing these young players. Well, most of them are in Rockford.
Yeah.
And look at the 4 young players on this team right now. Connor Bedard's playing better this season than he did last season.
Significantly so.
He's playing better defensively.
Yes.
He's getting more involved without the puck.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Vlasic is playing better this season than he did last year. And both of those players played really good last year, and they're off to better starts this year.
Power play 1 for Vlasic.
Progression, yeah. Look at that pass he made, the Bedard goal. Like, that was
confident, sick.
talented player. Wyatt Kaiser is playing better this season than he did last season. And now Lucas Reichel is playing better this season than he did last season. That's development.
That's what it is. Yes.
And that's the important thing. The wins and the losses. Yeah, we want this team to win more, and they are going to win more games this year. They've been right in it every game except one. Those 4 guys being better this year than they were last year is what's more important than wins and losses. And if they continue to be better, more wins will come.
100%. Okay, more on this to come in a moment here on CHGO Blackhawks. But it is time to light the lamp with Coors Light. We're going to do Who's Your Hawk later, but here's our choice to light the lamp. Tyler Bertuzzi in his last 3 games against Dallas has 2 goals and 3 assists. He's on a heater against the Stars. Hopefully that continues tonight. So he is our Coors Light the lamp pick of the evening. And between all the things that stress us out in life, from line changes to healthy scratches to Joey Anderson's not in the lineup, what are we going to do? Chill, right? Take a deep breath. It's a long season. There's a lot of things that are going to change and ebb and flow over the course of the year. And when it's time to choose chill, the perfect complement is a nice cold Coors Light. Got my Coors Light hat on today, coincidentally. When I choose chill, when we choose chill, that's right. Reach for a Coors Light. Coors Light is mountain cold refreshment. When those mountains turn blue, it's as cold as the Rockies. And when you embrace a chill mindset, it's a good time to choose chill. And crack open a Coors Light. Make the most out of the times that you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/CHGO Hockey. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Still to come on the show are Who's Your Hawk picks. Tyler Bertuzzi's in there. We won't spoil it just yet. Stay tuned for that. A little more on Reichel on the top line. I think I haven't been fighting for this as hard as some others have, because the time I've seen Bedard and Reichel together, there hasn't been much chemistry. That said, it's been very rare that those two have played together. So I'm not ready to say they don't work together.
Right.
My whole thing is sort of, hey, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Reichel's doing really well in the role he's in. Just keep him there. Let him settle in. But like you're saying, development is key. That's the most important thing. And when a kid earns it, give him a shot. I don't really have a problem with it either.
And if it's not working in the first period, put him back with Craig Smith and Pat Maroon where he was succeeding. It's not that difficult. I am getting a kick out of, all of the people screaming to take Nick Foligno off the top line. He gets taken off the top line, and then, no, not that guy, but the other guy there. Just let it.
Well, I think the Taylor Hall thing,
I don't know if Taylor Hall is a good fit for that line.
It's not. And I think when the trade was made, it made a lot of sense. Like, a scoring left winger for Connor Bedard. But as we watched them play, and our buddy Petey told us last week, like, who he covered Taylor Hall when he played in Arizona. Taylor Hall's a guy that wants the puck. And if you watch him play for the Hawks, keep an eye on him during shifts. He's always looking to start the offense. In the defensive zone, he's always sort of cheating by the blue line unless he absolutely can't, looking for offense. I don't think him and Bedard in the same line makes a lot of sense right now.
He plays a lot like Patrick Kane did for all those years with Chicago.
Yeah.
Like, if I can get one step headed towards the offensive zone... Oh shit! I gotta get back.
Well, and you live with it if the scoring's coming, right? Like,
the guy won a Hart Trophy playing that way. Like,
exactly.
It's hard to argue with his career. 700 career points, so it's worked for him. I was kind of thinking of this the other night because I do think that line of Teravainen and Bedard needs a guy like a Foligno, a guy that will dig pucks out of the corner and get to the front of the net. And I was thinking last night when I was asking Luke Richardson about what is Tyler Bertuzzi, who's been really good on the power play, what does he do? What does he have to do to translate that to 5-on-5? And I was thinking, maybe you put Bertuzzi on that top line, let him be the net front guy. What he's doing on the power play, he could do that for Bedard and Tavo. Maybe that gets him going. And then you have Reichel, Kershaw, Hall on the second line.
I'm done with that. I'm down for experimenting with anything.
Yeah,
but
I'm not mad at Reichel getting a shot at the top line.
No.
He was the team's best forward last night. Reward
without a
him.
doubt.
If you're going to punish him when he struggles, you better reward him when he's playing well. And he's playing well. And if he gets up there and that line just is awful the first couple of shifts, then you switch it back up.
Yep.
Like it's a 60-minute game. You're not married to those lines through the whole night.
Nick says, I think that Reichel can also shine on the first line, but he definitely has to have the mindset of I'm going to win this puck battle. We've seen that a little bit. And last night, like, he was playing a little feisty.
It's the Pat Maroon effect.
Maybe. He had a little spice to his game last night, like going in the corners, finishing checks, a little shove after the play. Like, he's not just a guy. I think when we watched him last year, he just very much felt like a passenger, an observer of the game, play along the boards. Very easy to knock off the puck. He's learning, and I think the message has finally gotten through that you have to engage. We talked about this the other day. All these shows run together. We do so many of them, but I think it was our studio show, not in postgame, where we talked about how like Connor Bedard is always looking to go to the middle of the ice, almost to a fault at this point, but everyone knows that's where the goals happen. That's where the action happens, and it's good to see Reichel starting to get that message too. If you watch the goal he set up last night to Craig Smith, he is blasting through the ice, going in, going out, ends up going towards the net, and he's going to draw the attention of the goalie every time. If it's him or Craig Smith, and I'm the goalie, I'm taking Lucas Reichel. And it's set him up perfectly. So the mindset's good. It's north and south. It's not east and west. And so far, so good. So I'm happy to see him get the opportunity. If I was making the lines, I don't know if I would switch anything, but I'm happy for Lucas Reichel that he's earned this.
Yeah, good for him. The Blackhawks need him to be good.
Yeah.
Him succeeding and figuring it out. He's still 102, 103 games into his career.
Yep.
You look at a guy like Lafreniere in New York, who was the number one pick of that same draft. Same draft
This
class.
is his 104th game.
So Lafreniere got the big contract this week, but he's played over 300 games, and he didn't figure it out until about 250 games in. That's a number one overall pick.
And that was a no doubt number one overall pick.
Yeah, that was a guy for 2 years we knew was going to be the next Sidney Crosby. People were talking about. He played for the same team in the queue, and all the comparisons were there. And this time last year, he was a bust, and the Rangers should trade him.
Yep.
And now he got a 7-year, almost $8 million per contract because it took him 250 games to figure it out.
We've mentioned this
and
before.
He's playing on a far better team than Lucas Reichel ever had.
But this is a draft class that was stunted by COVID. And if you go back and look at that class, there's a lot of guys that really haven't.
Rossi's another one that's just starting to figure it out. Quentin Byfield, the number 2 pick of that draft, took him 2 full seasons. And now the Kings are like, this is what we drafted it for. So 103 games is not enough time to make declarations about if this kid is going to be any good. And that's why he got a 2-year deal this past offseason, because the team still believes there's something there. And Luke Richardson took some drastic measures to try to get it out of him. And in 4 games, it looks like it's worked. It's just 4 games.
Right.
Let's see what he is on the road and gets this chance tonight. Take advantage of it.
Well, I mean, look, if Reichel becomes a ceiling like 60-point guy, that is a massive win for this organization. From a guy who, a year ago this time, or even 6 months ago this time, you're like, I don't know if this guy's an NHL player. He's shown nothing aside from that little sample size.
Right.
2 years ago. If this is closer to what he is, or that is closer to what he is, what we saw, with the Athanasiou, Reichel, and Kurashev line at the end of that season, then that's really good news for this team, because all of a sudden you got a little more time now with Nazar, a little more time with Oliver Moore. You don't have to necessarily rush them to the league. You don't need them to be counted on to score right away. If you've got a guy who's putting up Tara Vinen-like numbers in Lucas Reichel, that's massive. That's huge. And again, it also creates a trade chip. So if you have a need, it's another piece you can move and sell to upgrade the team. I'm not saying it's Reichel specifically, but if you've got that, then maybe you're more willing to move on from a prospect, maybe not ready yet or whatever. So I don't know. It's exciting. I hope it stays. I hope he makes the best of this opportunity. He's such a nice kid.
Yeah,
he's very easy to root for.
And the talent is there.
Definitely.
He needs to do it consistently, and hopefully this is where it starts to click, and this season is the season we were hoping from him last season.
Well, and I think Luke knows how much a lot of this has been in Lucas's head. A lot of it has been a confidence thing. A lot of it's been a morale thing. Now rewarding him, that's got to help in that regard. I'm sure that when he makes this decision to start Lucas Reichel on the top line with Connor Bedard, that's a big part of that decision is, hey, you know what? He fought through it. He did what we asked him to do. This could go a long way to helping his confidence. Even if the line gets shut out tonight, just earning that vote of confidence from if I told you 2 weeks ago we're having this conversation tonight, I don't think you'd take that bet.
No.
That Lucas Reichel has been promoted to top line because he's played so well.
No, I would have been like, crap, everybody died.
That would be bad. We don't want that. All right. It is time to play Who's Your Hawk. Get your picks in on the Discord. If you're a diehard, they're running their own in there. What did we have? A 15-way tie last night at Who's Your Hawk? 13-way tie.
I think they're still tweaking the rules there. Now they're making people pick like 5 games ahead to make sure, and you can't pick the same guy. I don't know.
All right. Hey, that sounds like their problem.
This is exactly why I didn't want to get involved. Exactly. I gave them the scoring system and my blessing, and said, "Yeah, get it done."
All right. What do we got?
Alrighty. Mario went with Alex Vlasic. He's and then you, Connor Bedard, you had first pick based on the standings. I went with Tyler Pertuzzi because I read that same stat about his recent success as Stars. Include that in my game day preview. Big night tonight. Look at that. That score is
right there.
Is close.
Scoring system's working.
2.5 points separate all of us. So we need a big game tonight from our guys to kind of maybe get a little separation. One little tidbit, and I wrote about it too in the game day preview. I put those out every game day ahead of the Blackhawks game, and those are not behind the paywall, so you don't have to be a diehard to read those, but you should anyway. Because
please do.
The Dallas Stars leave for Finland after this game, not directly after this game, but tomorrow they go to Finland because they're playing on Friday and Saturday back-to-back games in Helsinki against the Florida Panthers. So they got this big trip.
Trap game.
That's what I'm saying. Pete DeBoer was even asked about it this morning, and he was like, yeah, you worry about that, but I trust my guys. Like I told them, let's save the packing for tomorrow morning. But, I mean, it's only human nature to be like, oh, we got this big trip. Oh, my wife and my kids, they're coming with. I got to take care of all these.
The team we're playing is bad.
It's just the Blackhawks.
Yeah, right.
They played last night. If there was ever a time to use the Admiral Akbar GIF, today was the day. We'll see what happens.
Well, we got a little wager going on with our friends at DLLS. They challenged us. They said, if the Stars win, we have to spend 60 seconds explaining why Logan Stankoven will win the Calder this year.
I mean, that's not exactly like punishment.
Yeah, I could do that anyway.
I replied saying, okay, we'll just show his stats.
Right. And they said if the Hawks win, the DLLS Stars postgame show will work meow into their postgame show 10 times. So it's on. This is a bet I can get behind.
Sure, that's fine.
Don't really lose anything because I like Stankoven.
I think Stankoven.
He puts the stank in the oven.
I think Stank Oven has got a good shot at the Calder if Mitchkov slows down at any point.
100%. Chi-Town says, when is Martinez going to be back? I would, on this road trip.
He's on the road trip. He's skating. Yeah. He's practicing. I would imagine probably by next weekend, maybe as soon as Thursday against San Jose. He's playing. They play the Kings on Saturday. You know he wants to be in that
he wants
game.
in on that one for sure. All right, before we wrap up, reminder, our CHGO Die-Hard program is on a limited time intro offer. Right now, $48 for the whole year. You get a free shirt. That's $30 right there. So you're basically paying $18 for the whole year of CHGO diehardness. You get 20% off all of our events, 20% off all of our merch, and it's not just our merch, it's all the All-City Network stations, Denver, Arizona, Dallas, Philly, etc., etc. Save 20% on all of it because it's all sick. It's all really great looking stuff. And you get access to our members-only Discord, which gives you priority on Mailbag Mondays, and we do some chats during shows. Lots of good stuff. So jump in. Evil Bill says, would it be the same for renewal? I think so, but don't hold me to that. Don't know. But if you have a problem, let us know, and we'll see what we can find out. All right, we're going to be back as soon as the final horn sounds, so be here with us. On your way out, please do us a favor and smash that like button. Oh, by the way, if you want to become a diehard, allchgo.com is the website. Navigate over to that Die Hard tab, and you'll find everything you need to know right there. We'll talk to you after Hawks and Stars right here on the CHGO Blackhawks Podcast.
We all city like the mayor.